to our special fundraiser with the TDP, the feds, for our amazing new chair, Kendall, Scudder. We're so excited about that. Thank you so much for all giving your time and your money, because it takes that to make this happen. Wanted to point out a few housekeeping things before we get started. We've got the food, we've got the bar. Please tip generously to our servers tonight. We appreciate them so much. I wanted to point out the QR code for additional donations, which should be on all of the tables and on the screen. We appreciate any additional contributions tonight, $5, $10, everything really matters, it all counts. We thank you and appreciate you for that. I wanted to let you know we have something exciting, also another QR card that we have up here. We're getting new Feds t-shirts. We've had the same t-shirt, the Live Love piece, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm not feeling so much live and love right now. We've got a whole new era, a whole new feeling going on. And we have a new t-shirt. It is black and white, and it says, "Got rage, engage." Okay? And that's what we need to do. Got that rage? Engage. Do something. It's the best thing to empower you, to feel better about what's going on, and give you some hope. Talking about hope, we've got an amazing chair of our Dallas County Democrats, Kardal, Coleman. He is here tonight, and he is actually going to come and take over as MC for this part of the session. We appreciate him so much. Thank you so much. He is going to actually, let me go through what we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of a slideshow, and then we're going to actually do a Q&A with Progress Texas and do a podcast, and then we'll hear from our chair. That's kind of how things are going to go. So, welcome to the stage, please. Kardal Coleman, the chair of Dallas County Democrats. Thank you.
All right, good evening, Democrats. How are you doing? All right, I love this room. I love this organization. I love everybody who's here. Thank you so much for celebrating. I do not. Thank you so much for celebrating our chair, our statewide chairman of the Texas Democratic Party. I was asked tonight to get on the stage and impersonate Kendall, and I can't do it. I can't do my East Texas accent. But when I did, I tried my best to dress like Kendall Scudder tonight. So I got my cowboy boots, got my snapback hat, and I'll start off by saying, "Hey friends," just like Kendall. Because Kendall has been a friend, we have some photo and videos of Kendall from the times that many of us have been on the campaign trail with him over the years. So I ask that you give your attention to the screen to check out this montage of the work that he's done leading up to this moment. Oftentimes people ask the question, what have you done? Where have you been? And this video will show exactly where he's been throughout the years, helping us to get to this moment. So give your attention to the screen. excited for that video. We'll move this thing right along. I want to invite our state chairman to the stage. Oh, thank you.
There it is.
Let's give it up. This time I would like for everyone who has a glass of anything, water, sweet tea, beverage of your choice, to raise a toast, not only to an amazing man, not only to a Dallas County Democrat, but to somebody who is poised to revolutionize our state, deliver us statewide wins, and show Texas what it means to start winning again. Cheers to our chair, Kendall Scudder. No pressure. We're here to help you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna bring you back up in a second for a few words. I know everybody's waiting to hear the stump speech. Then we're going to go into a quick podcast, and I'd like to make an introduction. I'd like to make an introduction of a friend I think that we all know. Telling me to stand in the center here. A friend that we all know, but I want to make sure that I'm doing this correctly because she's done so much work in our county, several counties. When I met her, she was touting the work that she did in Tarrant County, but the work that she's done all over the state of Texas. Kathleen Thompson got her start in broadcast news, then went on to do something about the bad publicity and public policy that she was reporting on, from helping nonprofits, campaigns, and county parties to get involved. She was once our communications director at the Dallas County Democratic Party, and once served as communications director for Kendall Scudder. Now she's the executive director for Progress Texas, where she leads a team that focuses on message development, media amplification, that's right, Josh, for progressive issues, because she's making a difference, and it starts by shaping the narrative. Please help me welcome the incomparable Kathleen Thompson.
Thank you, Kardal. Thank you, Kardal, and it's a pleasure for Progress Texas to be a part of this important night. My team is all in San Antonio tonight hosting Mayor Ron Nirenberg and the next mayor of San Antonio, Gina Ortiz-Jones. So I'm here representing Progress Texas. I'd like to call Kendall Scudder, my former boss, up. We're going to have a little conversation just like you here on the Progress Texas podcast network. I hope you're all followers. We are in the top 2.5% of all pods globally, and we were just knocked down to second place by the Texas Tribune as the top Texas political podcast, but it's good company and they're on a limited run, so maybe they'll wrap it up and we'll be back to number one. Fellas, at Progress Texas, we're still celebrating this weekend's big wins across the state. Kendall, talk to me about Democrats running in every election.
Well, I can't help but notice when we finally won an election, it was after I was chairman. I'm kidding. Jokes. Look, there are a lot of Democrats that are working their butts off day in, day out, all across the state, and they never sleep. And that is what the result of us winning on Saturday pretty largely was that Republicans, they won the last election back in November, and they decided to rest on their laurels, while our Democrats just kept cranking and kept fighting. And when Democrats stand up and fight back, that's when we win elections. And no, so you don't ever just roll over and die. You always make sure that we're throwing down as hard as we can. And notice that every election that we won has something in common with each other. And it's that they had a candidate in that race. When you don't have a candidate in a race, you lose before the election even starts. So to answer your question about why it's important we contest every race, is because not only is it about having people on the field throwing down in every corner, it's that we've already conceded and lost if you don't put somebody on the ballot. And so what I'm telling everyone, everywhere I go around the state, is that when fascism is knocking on the door, that's not the time for imposter syndrome. So check it at the door and make sure that if you've ever thought about running for office or stepping up and serving in some capacity within the party or however, now's the time to do it. It's not rocket science. I've met a lot of politicians. Some of them are brilliant and wonderful, and others... I'm just saying, if you ever wondered if you could, the answer is yes, you can. But yeah, that's why I think it's important, is because we've got it as a party. We're in this losing mindset where we're just always used to getting our teeth kicked in, and we've got to like shake that shit off and just get out of bed and eat glass and start fighting back.
Okay, Kardal, you're up next. How do we keep this momentum going?
I think we keep this momentum going by doing what we just did in these local elections, municipal elections. We got out there and fought. And I think something that you're really great at is controlling the narrative. Dallas Morning News tried to tell the residents of Dallas that Councilman Adam Bazadua was too progressive for Dallas. And if you look at the results of this most recent election, a staunch Democrat, a DNC delegate, his district overwhelmingly sent him back to the horseshoe. That's how we keep this momentum going, right? We look at our friends in Rowlett, like John Bowers running. We look at our friends in North Dallas, like Jeff Kidner, who's made it to the runoff. We keep this momentum going by not letting up at all and showing that we can win and we can compete in every race.
And I want to add on that, is that, remember when we used to win? I mean, does who here remembers the 80s and the 90s? Okay. When we used to win, it wasn't about locking some consultant in a room and paying them until we won an election, okay? It was about going around and building a grassroots network in every corner of this state. And so that's how you keep the momentum going too. It's like you need to know who all the Democrats are in your neighborhood so that when these elections come up, we can win it. Kidner, Bowers, those are the runoffs that I'm aware of right now. I'm sure there are others. But like those people in that neighborhood, they don't know that a municipal runoff election's happening. They need a you in that neighborhood to tell them that. And so that's how you keep it running. Let's build this network. Let's build community. And when we build that Democratic community, it's going to be unbeatable. It doesn't matter what the political tides are shifting. Our people show up. They vote in every election. Polls don't vote. People do.
Kendall, to say you have been busy since your big win would be an understatement. I've seen you in the TVB taking radio, print, broadcast, streaming interviews, and raising money. What would you say has been your top priority since you took the seat?
I have been working really hard. I'm wearing the hat today so that you don't see that I'm already going gray. I wish I was joking. Carly, Brian, I started getting those Mitt Romney chops, and I'm getting them here. It never happened until this month. Something must have happened. No, we had a really big April. Just in April alone, I did 55 interviews across the press. I showed up to 13 different counties. This was while we were restructuring the party, trying to figure out how to operate. We raised $190,000 in the party. And that stuff doesn't just happen, like it's working. So I think priority number one this last month has just been trying to this is not super sexy, but it's just been administratively figuring out how to get our costs down, how to get our revenues up, and try to be a sustainable, functional organization. Now that we're through that, there are new priorities, and that priority is to win some fucking elections, right? That's the number one priority. this state. Sometimes that means that we're putting together grassroots, like voter engagement stuff. You're going to see a lot of that in this municipal runoff, because not everybody has a municipal runoff to vote in. When Carly and I went to go vote this time, we voted for one name on the ballot because he was the only one, Councilman Paul Ridley, who won with 100% of the vote. Funny, Sam. But there's going to be a lot of people like us that don't have these runoffs, but we still want to be engaged and we still want to be active. I think a lot of people in East Dallas will have that. So we're going to be setting up programs where maybe you want to be active, you can work into North Dallas, or we've got a really important mayoral election down in San Antonio where Greg Abbott's putting $2 million in the race against us, right? We're going to be figuring out what those are and trying to get Democrats all over the state to have the opportunity to get engaged. So number one priority is winning elections, and sometimes that may mean that we're doing some things that are a little unorthodox that you've never seen the party do. But you know what? If we kept doing things the way we always had, we're going to keep getting our asses kicked. And there was a little group called the Feds, and when they started, people didn't like the unorthodox shit they were doing either, right? So I'm just saying, sometimes you have to shake things up, and that's what I intend on this doing.
Kardal, I know how hard you work, and you need support at the county party. Every county party chair needs support. What does it mean to you to see your TDP chair working this hard 18 months from the November 2026 election?
Oh, wow, that got me excited.
He probably doesn't remember this. When he was on the campaign trail and he did a candidate forum in Grand Prairie, he ended his remarks with, "You deserve a state party chair that works as hard as you do." That line stuck with me, man. And it was at that moment when I'm like, you're damn right we do. And it's really important, right? The way that I don't know if you guys have been following, but the way that he's been on social media, the way he's been on traditional media, the way that they spent hours at our state capitol, not just him, but the entire TDP staff at the state capitol fighting to make sure that our values were on the front line. I appreciate that as a county party chair. Speaking on behalf of all the county party chairs, I mean, the buzz is out. People know that Kendall Scudder is visible. He's going to show up. He's going to kick ass and take names. And that means a lot to us from the county party perspective.
Everybody in this room already knows that Republicans can't govern. It's only been a little bit more than 100 days. Planes are falling out of the sky. Measles is spreading like wildfire. Public schools are going to lose even more funding. Elon's hacker kids want your private social security information. I could go on all night. Truly, the chaos and the corruption seems endless. But if you are a Republican voter watching Republican propaganda, you may not know. Because Republicans invest in Republican media. They spend billions to keep Americans and Texans in the dark. Kendall, a new TDP can lead the Democrats out of the wilderness in 2026 because Republicans don't know the meaning of hard work like we do. Talk to us about leaving no voter behind and sharing your progressive message across the state.
I'd love to do that. And while we talk about working hard, I do want to recognize 3 different people that are here today. I see Mike Rollins, who's here today. I see Annette Krause, who's here today. And David Griggs was here. Where are you at, David Griggs? I think those are the only members of the SDEC here. They're members of the State Democratic Executive Committee, and I wouldn't be able to be doing this work had the 3 of them not voted for me. And so I appreciate y'all and your support in that race. Thank you. There are 40 mid-sized cities in the state of Texas that have over 100,000 people. If you put that in any other state, it'd be a population center. But what is our party doing in Amarillo? What are we doing in Lubbock? What are we doing in Abilene? What are we doing in Tyler? What are we doing in Beaumont? What are we doing in Corpus Christi? These are large cities. They are not rural flyover country that there's no one there and we shouldn't spend our time doing it. We've got to get out of this mindset that there's a triangle in Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and you don't get out of it. Because if we never walk through the door, how do we blame them when they don't vote for us? Right? It's no one's fault but ours if we don't take the time to show up and communicate and talk to people. And that means not just showing up geographically, but it means showing up on media too. You can't be afraid to be places that aren't always our friends. I did some Republican talk radio today, and they told me that their show had been in place for 4 years. I was the first Democrat that ever accepted an invite to be on their show. And came on, had a great discussion. Of course, they tried to bait me a couple of times, but it was a fine conversation where people that listened to that radio never heard a Democratic perspective until the day I showed up, right? And like that, to me, is what's really important about not leaving voters behind. We do what we do because it's the right thing to do. We do what we do because we know we are right. So why would we be afraid to show up and make our argument and make our case where we need to make it? So whether that's walking into a tough room like I did an event in Hideaway, Texas on Friday, or going onto that talk radio show, we as a party have to get serious about that. But let me put another point here. It's not always about showing up in rural communities, Dallas, Texas. It's also about making sure that people don't feel like they've been taken for granted. It's also about making sure that we maximize what our votes are in places like Dallas, where we have had some pretty bad voter turnout year over year. I mean, it's just the reality. We can either sit around and try to do some self-preservation and pretend like it wasn't that bad, or we can own up to it and try to figure out ways to fix it and try to move forward. And we are the party that created the New Deal. We ushered in electricity in parts of this country that no one ever thought it was possible. When big energy and big banks were telling us they had no interest in us doing it, we got it done. We're the party that ushered in the Great Society and Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. We cut poverty in this country by 75% in those programs. We put a man on the moon. We saved the world during World War II. Surely we can figure out how to organize in both rural and urban areas in Texas, okay? It's not rocket science, and even if it were, we've done it before and did it successfully. So we've got to start getting to this point where we have big, bold ideas about who we are as a party. Stop showing up and meeting people in the middle and negotiating away everything that's important to the people on the ground that are doing the work. Let's stand firm with who we are, and maybe if our candidates wanted to break with us, we're finally giving them that wiggle room to do it, because we're taking a stand for who we are and what our values are, and not trying to win a who can be the least Republican award. Instead, we're capturing who we are, and all of those things that I talked to you about just now wasn't just brought to you by progressives. They were brought to you by Texas progressives.
Kendall and Kardal, we are so proud to be in this fight with you. At Progress Texas, we believe in progressive messaging that's always on and progressive campaigning that's year-round, cycle after cycle after cycle, until we win our country back, and we fight every day for our families. I'm going to turn this back over to the feds, and thank you for letting Progress Texas be a part of this evening. Please follow us on social media, on the platform of your choice. Please listen to our podcast. And I'd like to invite you all to our 15th anniversary party coming up in June, on June 9th. And there's a QR code right over here with this great food.
I want to add one more thing before we pass it over. There was a bigwig who wanted to be here today, and he was unable to make it. He has two tiny little twins who were crying and awake, and he couldn't make it out. But Judge Clay Jenkins wanted to send his regards. I know his mother, Joanne, is over here, and we are lucky to have Joanne. And I mean, Clay's good too, but Joanne Jenkins, let me tell you. Anyways, I just wanted to send regards from Judge Jenkins, and he's also a huge sponsor for this event today, and we're very grateful for him. Thanks.
have sponsors, but I wanted to make sure that we get a chance to get them up on the screen here. Oh, the size. You guys are advanced. All right, voila. I want to thank all of our sponsors who are here tonight. If you are a sponsor, will you please wave your hand? Thank you. Mr. Chairman, look around the room. Look at the love in the room who are supporting not only the organization, but supporting you, our state party, and supporting your leadership. So I want to thank every sponsor who is here tonight. I believe we have some elected officials who are assigned to speak tonight.
I think we're good. We'll go on to
All right.
the individual screen there. He donated $5,000 a month.
The chairman didn't have this note, so I just wanted to say this. Domingo Garcia donated $5,000 a month. So I just want to encourage you all to become a standing member. You don't have to be $5,000, $5, $10, whatever, but we need to do it. He's set a great example of the confidence that he has in our new leadership in our new era.
All right. Honorable Nathan Johnson. Honorable John Bryant. All right. The moment that you all have been waiting for, one of my favorite things to always engage in some good trouble, which is a stump speech from our state party chair, Kendall Scudder.
Steps in on those. Thank you. I did notice one correction I wanted to make on the sponsorship slide. Can we go back to that right quick? Because I noticed that Dr. Parker wasn't mentioned next to Eric Johnson's name. Thank you, Dr. Parker, for being a sponsor as well. That was an oversight on the board. We're very appreciative. Well, guys, we're the dog that caught the car. First, I am just so grateful to all of you. I like to brag that I'm Feds member number 1. I've been here since day one, and when we actually, won this thing, Mazel Tov. So Feds fever has officially spread, and you now have the Feds in charge of the Texas Democratic Party. And what does that mean? What it means is that we've got to build a grassroots operation that's worthy of that banner. The banner that was created by people like one of our founders, Jill Cochran, who's here today. Thank you. And the reason that it's so important for us to do it is because there's a lot of people that are counting on us getting it right. I'm going to give you some scary information before we talk about other things, because I think it's really important for people to understand why Texas is so important. Has anybody here seen the data about what the census and stuff is going to look like in the next redistricting cycle? Let me share it with you. In the next redistricting cycle, according to what our anticipations are at the census, even if Democrats won every blue and purple state that's on the map, it's not a path to 270 anymore. Because blue states are losing electoral college votes and red states are gaining. So what does that mean? That means that there is no path to 270 and win the White House without North Carolina or Texas. That's terrifying. But here's the thing, guys. I'm not as scared of that as I probably should be. And the reason I'm not as scared about it is because I see how hard y'all work. And everywhere that I go in the state of Texas, I see activists like y'all who are getting up and throwing down and fighting back. The trend line in Texas is moving in the right direction. It may not always feel that way, but it is. I promise you, I've seen it a lot. Next week, I'm going to D.C. I'm meeting with the DNC, Chairman Martin, folks like that. And they understand how important Texas is too. I'm telling you all of that so that you can know that what we're doing at the state party is we're creating a 6-year plan. It's not just about flipping a United States Senate seat next year, which I think we can do. It's about making sure that we are building cycle over cycle so that in 2020 or 2032, it's not even a question. Texas is going to go blue. And when it does, we'll never see another Republican president again. But even before 2032, we have a huge order in front of us next year in 2026. Y'all know they're about to nominate Ken Paxton, right? For the United States Senate, a man who is a literal crook, a literal fraudster, a literal thief, a man whose only defense of his terrible behavior is, don't blame me, I was just cheating on my wife. He's a certified garbage person, and they're putting him as their nominee for the United States Senate. A poll came out last week that showed us what that looks like. And head-to-head, Democrat versus Ken Paxton, they had Paxton at 37% and Democrat at 52%. Now, if you're like me, you probably don't trust those pollsters very much. But this was a Republican pollster who, even if they were off by 10 points, were still winning that sucker. My point of telling you that is not to tell you that you should just sit on your hands. It's to tell you that we have something to shoot for next year. This is not some election that is just a lost cause. We have an opportunity right now to not just flip a statewide seat in Texas, but to flip one that the whole country sees. To flip one so that people get to see what you've done to save this country and as a result, save this globe that we're on right now. Because in the Democratic Party, we have a lot of different people that all have different interests. We're a coalition party, okay? Do what? Big Ten. We're Big Ten. A lot of people come from different backgrounds. I'm trying to make sure, number one, that even if that's the case, we're all moving in the same direction and acknowledging that we're on a team together. So if you find a Democrat that you think is 50% good and 50% bad, we're focusing on the 50% good because that's how you win an election, okay? Elections are about addition, not subtraction, and we're here to win some elections, okay? But what I also think is really crucial for us to always remember is that all of this internal political stuff that happens, in the grand scheme of things, it just doesn't matter. Because it doesn't deliver wins for us. We have to start winning elections again in this state. And we do that with an understanding of what message gets us there. Who here thinks that the party has had awesome messaging over the last couple cycles? Yeah, not a single one. I think that in 2016, the Democrats loved this country so much that we did everything we could to preserve it and protect it. And so we turned into a party that was fighting to preserve institutions. But what we lost sight of is the fact that those institutions haven't served people very well. Republicans tore those institutions up to a point where they were not delivering what working people expected them to deliver. And so when we became a party preserving institutions, they started writing us off. But make no mistake, the richest man in the world is appointed to stand in the White House right now to gouge working people of every social safety net program that has been created to help them move forward, to fire 80,000 people from the VA, which would take away health care for veterans across this country, to shut down the Department of Education, to make sure that families with special needs kiddos aren't getting the services that they need, and to supplement what they're doing here in Texas to shut down your community public schools. They are doing everything they can to take away opportunity from working people while safeguarding the $38 billion that goes to Elon Musk. Their greed knows absolutely no bounds. These billionaires will gobble every penny out of the pockets of every working person in this country if we do not stand up and fight back. We've got to get back to our roots of who we are as a party. We're a party that fights for the little guy. We stand up and fight for working people. That's who we've always been, and we got a little bit distracted, but we're bringing it back, guys. We're bringing it back. Because every day to try to figure out how to make your life easier. They're doing things that's making your life harder. No Republican is getting out of bed to make your life more affordable. They're making it, in fact, they're defaulting on people's student loans this week. Young people who already cannot afford to purchase homes, who already cannot afford to dig out of the mounds of debt they've been saddled with, are now being foreclosed on their student loan debt. They are doing everything that they can to make life harder, and the reason they want to make it harder, and the reason they want to shut down your community schools, is that when you're desperate and when you're uneducated, they can pay you less. They can keep you in factories, they can keep you on assembly lines, they can keep you on farms, and those billionaires will do anything they can to push you down and keep their boot on your neck so that they can profit off of a rigged economy that they designed to only help them and to leave every one of us behind. As a party, we have to make clear to people that this fight is not about left versus right, it's top versus bottom. And all of us on the bottom have to stand together to move forward and to try to save the working class in this state from its moving backwards. There are 66 billionaires in the state of Texas that own more wealth than 70% of Texans combined. 66 people, more wealth than 25,400,000 people combined. That's not an economy working for people like you and me. Do you know what they did this cycle? In this legislature, they fought to make sure that they didn't have to pay taxes on stock trades. The same legislature that fought to eliminate any taxes on their yacht purchases. Well, what did they do for you? We asked you earlier, who here was around in the 80s and 90s? Okay. Does anyone who had their hand out just then feel like life is more affordable now than it was then? Does anyone here feel like your community is safer now than it was then? Anyone here feel like your school is better now than it was then? Does anybody here feel like your taxes are lower now than they were then? No. Do you know what the difference was between the 80s and 90s and now? That 30 years of Republicans running this state into the ground, while the Democrats not only did all those things, but they did it while creating the best bridges and roads in the world. Texas was founded on hugely progressive democratic principles that we have to bring back and remind people that we as Texans have saved the world before and we're going to do it again. And we're going to do it with you and all the help that you're doing on the ground. Feds, this event that we're at today raised $35,000 for our party. That's huge, and I am so grateful for you helping me set this party back on track. We got a lot of work to do because this party has not shown up. It has not been what you as an activist deserve from it. They haven't treated you with the respect that you deserve. And they haven't done everything that they could to equip you with what you needed to do to succeed. But you kept doing it anyways. So imagine what this election's going to look like. When we got the party pulled out of a ditch, we're driving full speed down the road, and we're here to be helpful to you again in all of the work that you're doing. With Ken Paxton at the top of their ticket, with Donald Trump cratering the American economy in his first midterm after this re-election, there has never been a better opportunity for Democrats to flip a seat in this state. And it starts with groups like you here in the feds. And I am so grateful. I'm going to make some mistakes in this process, and I hope that you know you can always call me. It's a big state, doing the best I can to cover it. I want to thank my wife, Carly, who has I want to thank the leadership of the feds who have helped pull this incredibly successful event together. Thank you. Y'all are great. I don't know what we did this so well. Y'all want to come be super volunteers for the party? You're all welcome. Are there any elected officials that I've met? Oh, Judge Dominique Collins is here. Thank you, Judge, for being here tonight. I guess in closing, I'm passing the mic back to you guys. Eternally grateful. We're gonna fix it. Have some patience. Need some help. And then also, let's talk about like how we're going to make people's lives better instead of fighting each other. Those 5 things all work. Those are the clip notes. Eternally grateful to all of you. Let's get to work.
Wow. You guys, I am so fired up and excited about the future, the new era, the progressive thoughts. You know, it's amazing. I mean, we had to work hard for this. There were 7 people in this race. I just want to remind people, 7, and Kendall won in the first round. Significant support for him all across the board. I want to thank both of our SDC members who are here who supported him. We really appreciate that. I know the feds all kind of helped rally, and that's what we do when we're organizers, is we rally behind the people who we support, and I wanted to thank you. So we're going to talk about what's up next for the feds. We've got a lot coming up. We have, first coming up is going to be our next meeting on June the 3rd. We're going to be at Winfrey Point, and I think we're going to have a potluck. It's going to be a lot of fun, a picnic. It's our birthday, and so we hope you'll all come out and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I wanted to let you know we've had a couple of really great groups. We've been encouraging people about community being so important, being visible being so important, resisting, speaking up, standing up, all of those things that we have to do more of now. And we've had a Feds member, Beth Irwin, who actually read about this Defend Democracy. Beth's not there. Defend Democracy Sunday. We have been doing a protest since this whole shit show started, and we're going to keep doing it until things are normal. So it started with a few people, and I believe last weekend they had 50 people. 55. And you know what? I didn't know most of them on the photos, so it's so encouraging. It's really great. It's a great way to be visible. I've had somebody ask me, do you think you're doing any good? Yeah. As somebody pulled over and got out of her car, a young woman crying, who is just literally crying and hugging us, thanking us for doing this, for being visible, for standing up for her, because she couldn't stand up for herself right now for fear of losing her job. That same day, we had another person pull over who was a federal worker. The first one was a teacher. She's a federal worker. Said the same thing. I'm going to be here because I know I'm going to lose my job. And I drive by, she said this, I drive by every Sunday to see y'all. We have another person who came across from the restaurant, and they come every Sunday to eat and to join us. We invite you to join us. Really, the thought is that we all can do something. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just doing something is so important. Another Fed, Jill Cochran, started a Solidarity Sunday, and it is a great opportunity to meet, build community, get ideas, organize, stay motivated. It really has been a wonderful opportunity, and that ours is on Sunday at 9. We're going to be switching it, not having it on Mother's Day. The Solidarity Sunday is going to be at 10:30, and they are having it. They're not having it either. I guess we'll talk about to Beth and see if we're having Solidarity Sunday, because we've canceled it on Easter, and they showed up anyways, you guys. There was 37 people there. I don't think we're going to be able to cancel. So probably we're going to be on the corner at Buckner and Garland if you want to come by and join us. But Jill's celebrating Mother's Day with her grandbabies. So there won't be Solidarity Sunday that day. We've got a lot of other things going on. Let's see, what's next? Oh, I do not want you guys to think that the elections are over. We have 2 runoffs, you guys. Come on, Jeff Kittner, Dallas City Council, District 11. This election runoff is June 7th, you guys. Complete your job, complete your mission, get out and vote. In Essential RISD District 2, Vanessa Pacheco, she's running. It's a tight race. Both of them, we need you guys. If you're in that district, check your voters' cards, get out and vote. There's no excuses not to do that. Also, Progress Texas is having an event on June 9th, 15-year anniversary. We're going to be there. I hope you'll be there. There's a QR code. Please join them. We are so grateful I listen to them every day. My husband listens to them every day. I start my day by, what the heck do I need to know? It is a quick way to stay up to date. And if you're not listening to them, you're missing out. Save the date for the Pride event with Stonewall. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's an annual event, June 15th, Fair Park. Please show up and support. Our visibility is important. Again, standing up right now for people who can't, won't, aren't able to is so important, and we've got to do it. Feds, we need to organize. They're doing it. They are organizing. We have got to focus this summer on doing some organizing, and we need your help, ideas, directions, assistance in doing the planning. If you want to go ahead and email us, that would be great. It's txfeds@gmail.com if you're interested in helping. If you've got ideas, there's something that we're not doing that you'd like us to do, really, we're open to your ideas. I wanted to call out one other person I saw in the audience, Erin Moore. She's the outreach director for Julie Johnson, our congressperson. And I appreciate her very much being here. And we're so grateful to have Representative Johnson, doing the work for us in Washington, and you here. Thank you so much. Yes, Paul Ridley is here. I think he got a call out already. Thank you so much, Councilman. We appreciate you. Congratulations. Thank you. I think that's it. No, it's not. We've got our t-shirt. Well, I'm going to thank everybody again. Thank everyone again for being here. We appreciate you so much. We couldn't do it without you. All of our members, all of our donors, everybody who reached in and gave extra money this month for this event. You're not done. We got to do it. We've all got to do it every month. It's going to take doing more and trying harder, and we appreciate you and recognize all that you're doing. Okay, get your t-shirt. Come on, get your t-shirt if you haven't got it. We also have another opportunity on Bonfire where you can order t-shirts. There's a lot of really fun resistance t-shirts. I've got actually one that says, don't blame me, I voted for the competent woman. And I wore it, okay, I wore it at a rally, and I don't know how many I sold that day, and literally at the rally, people were saying, oh, the feds have a new t-shirt. So please, those will be ordered and just sent directly to you. Be sure you're pre-ordering your other t-shirt, and I think that one more ask about giving another $5, $10, whatever you can for tonight for this fundraiser, and to show our support for our first Fed. I want to thank everybody who worked so hard on this event that's in this room. You all know who you are. We do this, and it's our pleasure to do it. We thank you for all being here, supporting us, supporting the Dallas County Democratic Party. Volunteer, sign up, do what you can for them. They are working hard. There is no off-season for the Dallas County Democratic Party, none with the statewide. We are full-time having to do this. Stay engaged, pay attention. Thank you, Feds. Keep